Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Brandon Lester Fishing. It is a really warm December day. It's about 62 degrees right now. It's supposed to get up to almost 70 today. When I see a day like this in December, probably doesn't matter what I've got planned or what I've got going on, I'm probably gonna go fishing, and that's what I did this morning. I woke up, I said, man, the wind's not supposed to blow too bad. It's gonna be warm. I'm going fishing today. So here we are. We're on Tim's Ford Lake today. We're gonna go try to catch some crappie. We're gonna do a dock shooting video. I've had some questions about how I shoot docks, my setup, that kind of thing. So I want to cover that today. Y'all stay tuned. Let's go catch a few. All right, everybody. Let's talk about my setup right here and what I'm using just a little bit. Let me get my active target set up. All right, it's ready to go. So I've got a brand new rod. Santa Claus brought this rod to me, aka my wife. It's a B&M sharpshooter, 6 foot. I've never owned a B&M rod before, and there's no sponsorship involved here. She bought it just like everybody else does, but I just wanted to try it out. I needed a new crappie rod. I need a few new crappie rods actually, and I just wanted to try one of these out. You know, B&M's got a good name in the crappie fishing world. So this one is a 6 foot medium light action called the B&M sharpshooter. Like I said, I've just got a 2500 size Daiwa spinning reel. This one's the Legalis, just a good little spinning reel. 4-pound vicious high vis monofilament. I've got a 1/32 ounce pink crappie magnet jig head, and that is a crappie magnet. That color is called Heavy D, is what that color is called. So I've got a dock right here. It's got a few fish on it. We're just gonna make a couple shots under there and see if we can get one to bite this morning. I can see, I want to show you guys what I'm looking at right here. Here's some crappie right here. Here's some crappie right here. So they're 30 feet under that dock. You can see where my trolling motor's facing. That's where those fish are. And they're sitting only about 4 feet deep. So I'm not gonna let it sink very far when I skip it in there. The whole key to shooting docks, okay? This is the deal right here. You wanna let your jig fall to about the first eye on the rod, the biggest eye on your spinning rod. Start about right there. Grab that jig by the head with the hook facing away from you. Now guys, listen to me. If you don't get anything else out of this video, grab that jig by the head with the hook facing away from you. If you don't, you're gonna end up with a hook in your finger. And if that happens, it ain't my fault, okay? So I'm just throwing that out there. But you keep that jig facing away from you, you won't have any problem whatsoever, okay? The biggest problem I see people make is they don't put enough bend in that rod. You want to bend that son of a gun. And this is the first shot I've made with this rod, so I may mess it up. It takes a second to get used to a new rod, but you want to put a good bend in that rod and shoot it. That went way under that dock. There's one. Another little guy. Little black nose. Might have to find us a different hole here. It looks like this has turned out to be the nursery this morning. Little black nose going down his face. He's pretty. Next year he'll probably be a keeper. They grow exceptionally fast. But oh, I'm sure there's some bigger ones in there. It could just be that the smaller ones are beating the bigger ones to the punch. We'll try it a couple more licks. If we don't do any good, we'll go on to a new spot. There's a fish. Feels like a good crappie right there. Yep, that's a nice one. back us up here just a little bit so we don't get too close. Come up here, boy. Well, that, my friends, is what dock shooting will get you right there. That's a pretty one. First keeper of the day. Pretty big black nose, probably about 12 inches. Pretty fish. We'll let him go. Get back up here. That fish was right where I thought he would be. I've got to shoot it right under that motor, right between those two floats. Just like that right there. These fish are about 6 to 8 feet deep, about where they are. There's another bite. I think that was a bluegill. You know, there's a lot of companies, like I said earlier, that make rods for specifically designed for shooting docks, and I think a lot of different ones will work. When you're looking for a dock shooting rod, I've used several different sizes. In my opinion, you want something anywhere from 5.5 foot to 7 foot. I've known of guys using little bitty short rods and stuff, but me personally, I think something in the 5.5 to 7 foot range is about perfect. So just keep that in mind. You know, you want something that's fairly light action, obviously, you know, for 32nd, 1/16 ounce jigs. My favorite size for shooting docks is a 1/32 ounce, just because it skips across the top of the water a lot easier. But you know, a lot of guys like a 1/16, and if that's what you like, then that's fine. And I will use a 1/16 if I'm out here on a day when I've got a little bit more wind, but I really like that 1/32 if I can get by with it. There's another one. Good one too. Nice crappie. Trying not to get too close to him here. Look at that big sow. Boy, that's a pretty one. See them all right there on active target. There's a bunch of them in there, but it's just, they're just not very active today. Finally found a little place where I can tuck back in here and skip in there and get to them and get them to bite a little bit. A lot of boats on the water today, so these fish are getting a lot of pressure for sure. Here's one. Another pretty nice one. I think we can flip him. Come on up here, boy. That's a pretty fish. Not a giant, but another doggone good one, that's for sure. Pretty crappie. All about the same. All the keepers I've caught been about the same size, 12.5 inches probably. Good quality fish. It's not been easy today. I've really had to hunt around and peck around for them, but I've finally found a few that are active enough that I can catch a couple of them. There he is. That joker right there is strong now. That's
Why? Because he's a big one. That pretty son of a gun. That's just a black there. That's not a black nose. See, he doesn't have that strap on his nose. Just a big old black. Pretty one. Let's put him back. See if we can get us another one. There he is. Decent little crappie. Guys, I made a change. I hadn't caught a whole lot of nothing. Been out here for a few hours now, and I've been using a pink head. I like a pink head. I use a pink jig head a whole lot. We'll go ahead and throw this fish back. But it's bright sunny today, no wind. It's one of those days where there's not a lot of activity. So I had these they're kind of chrome plated or nickel plated, real silver jig heads that Crappie Magnet sent me, and I put a real natural looking, that's about as natural looking a color right there as you can possibly get. Just barely shows up in the water, to be honest with you. But ever since I made that change, I've caught, and that's a 1/16 ounce. I've been using a 1/32. And I've seen times, and it's rare, don't get me wrong, it's rare. Most of the time, I believe lighter is better when it comes to crappie, but I've seen times where you can make them react with a little bit heavier head. And I swear, I believe that's what I'm doing right here. That heavier head and that natural, more natural color, I'm getting a lot more bites. Either I've gotten around some more active crappie, or that's making the difference. I think it's probably a combination of the two, but at least we're getting a few bites now. I just missed one right there. See, now I'm not necessarily shooting under anything here, but I'm still shooting that jig because I can be so accurate and go right down the side of that jet ski float just the way I need to make the right presentation. All right, everybody, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Hey, I hope you guys learned a little something about shooting docks today. I had some questions about it, and I've done some dock shooting in my videos, you know, in the past, but I've never really taken you guys through and showed you how I do it, where to grab the line, how to put that bow in your rod, you know, rod reel, line setup, and all that. So kind of wanted to get you guys dialed in on that. It's something that I think intimidates a lot of people, but it's not that hard. It's just like anything else. It takes some practice. It takes some time. It's not something that you can show somebody how to do it, but until you get out on the water and put it to use and get used to it, you know, that's the only way to learn how to do it. But very effective technique, especially on lakes, obviously, that have a lot of docks. Crappie use docks all winter long, and in the summer too, but especially in the fall and winter, they use them a whole lot. So I appreciate you guys watching. Y'all stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, hit that subscribe button for me if you hadn't. I think like 80% of the people that are watching my videos have not subscribed. So I promise I'm not gonna hunt you down or anything like that. Just reach up there and hit that subscribe button for me. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time right here, Brandon Lester Fishing.